It very rarely happens that I enjoy reading articles from the taxpayer-funded state media, but this is one of the rare occasions that I enjoyed a lot. A Swedish family from southern Sweden moved to the eastern border in Finland, very close to the Russian border, to live a daily life that no longer interests Finns. It's like Sweden in the 1980s, in a good way. The Swedes Mrs. Ellen and Mr. Erkki Kinnunen and their families longed for wilderness, peace, and snow. A remote paradise was found in Ilomantsi, the easternmost municipality in Finland. The grocery store is almost an hour's drive away, as is the school. From the yard in every direction you can see the mere forest as far as the eye can see. The house is the last before the Russian border, and the cars of the border guard are the only passers-by. Kinnunen and his children moved to the border region of Ilomantsi and once again rebuilt the age structure of the deserted village of Kivivaara. The Finnish last name, Kinnunen, and the names of their children tell of unknown family roots. Inside the house, the first impressive collection of knives and hunting strikes. Old guns, tools, and trophies adorn the walls in every room. The children of the family, 5-year-old son Vili, 4-year-old son Vil and 1-year-old son Lori have their own tools. Despite their name, the Kinnunen family is entirely Swedish-speaking and has no previous contacts in Finland. My father is a child of war who was sent to Sweden during the Second World War at the age of 3. He never returned to Finland and does not speak Finnish, Mr. Erkki Kinnunen says. But how in the world does a Swedish family with children end up in a house in a remote village in eastern Finland? We saw on the internet that the place is for sale, and we immediately fell in love, says Mrs. Ellen Kinnunen. And now the Kinnunens are the new residents of Kivivaara's former border guard station. I was just wondering if the nearest neighbor is as close as 3 kilometers away, says Mr. Kinnunen, and laughs. The place has turned out to be even better than we thought. We have come to stay, says Mrs. Ellen Kinnunen. The forest surrounds the courtyard everywhere, the distance to the nearest neighbor is 3 kilometers. Erkki Kinnunen worked in Sweden as a lumberjack. Since the summer, he has thinned the forest on the house's 10-acre site. Now a beautiful hillside landscape opens up from the courtyard, and 2 wilderness ponds split between the trees. Firewood is in stock for several years. We did not see a future in Sweden, says Mr. Kinnunen. In Sweden, the Kinnunens lived in Erkki's childhood home. The old farm is located in Alvsärd in southern Sweden, about 100 kilometers from Gothenburg. According to Mr. Kinnunen, Swedish society is drifting into chaos. Violence in Swedish cities is increasing and the population is divided into different segments. We do not want our sons to visit a school in Sweden, Mrs. Ellen Kinnunen says. Finland is a haven for security and peace for them. The parents plan that the 2 oldest sons in the family will start school at the same time in the church village of Ilomantsi. The distance to the local school is 55 kilometers. Now the family goes shopping for food and pizza in the center of Ilomantsi once a week. Ilomantsi is like Sweden in the 1980s, in a good way, says Mrs. Kinnunen. Since the beginning of Finnish independence, the national languages of Finland are Finnish and Swedish, and these 2 languages are of equal importance. This is guaranteed in the Finnish constitution. Finland has a Swedish-speaking minority that primarily lives in southern Finland in areas like the city of Porvoo, Helsinki, and Taimisaari, and further north on the west coast in the region of Vaasa. The area of Ilomantsi is an area where Finnish is the main language, so having a Finnish last name and speaking Swedish like the Kinnunen family does will definitely be a wonderful addition to the tiny village of Kivivaara. It would be great to have more families like the Kinnunen family move back to Finland from Sweden. In this way we could certainly get to have closer ties with our Swedish brothers and sisters in Sweden and the Finns that stayed in Sweden after being evacuated to Sweden as children during the Second World War,